Hey Raiders, I'm Steve Nash.
And I'm Michaela DiCesare, and here's our review of Adventurers.
Run, 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 run! In Adventurers, players will collect treasures from the Temple of Chak. In the box, you get a board representing the temple, a boulder that will follow you and try to crush you, tiles to represent the crumbling floor in the lava room, 2 walls which are closing in and might crush your adventurers, plastic parts to form an unstable bridge, cards that represent treasures, character cards that are all the same but they each have a special ability, some nice 3D figurines of your adventurers, and dice.
To set up the game, place the board in the center of the table with the 2 walls in the first room and the boulder on its starting location. Then place 4 random clue tiles in the area next to the boulder. The treasure cards have a different backside to them, and you must place them according to the arrows and symbols on the board. These cards go all around the board. The lava room and the river also have treasures which can be found by adventurers. Shuffle the tiles and place them into the lava room and cover it with the black board provided. Place the wall moving cards on the first arrow and give each player 2 adventurers at random. Players will only use one of these adventurers at the start of the game. If he dies, then the second one will come in.
Once you have everything ready, you can start the game. I'll explain how players will move around in the temple first. On the back of your character sheet, you have numbers representing how many actions you might get depending on the amount of treasures you are carrying. You will track these by using your secondary character card to hide the other numbers. The top number is your load level, and the bottom number is how many actions you have this turn. The first player is called the Dice Keeper, and he will roll the 5 dice. According to your load level, this will tell you how many actions you have. If you have a load of 4 treasures, you will get 1 action for every 3 or higher rolled. Each player adjusts their card according to the actions they get, and the Dice Keeper does his turn first. You can do 2 types of actions. You can move your adventurer, which costs 1 action per square, or you can search for treasures and look at glyphs. Once everyone has done all their actions, the Dice Keeper rolls the dice and moves the boulder accordingly. The player to the left becomes the new Dice Keeper, and a new round begins.
Let me explain the wall room first. There are 4 spaces here, and on each space you can look on the wall's glyph for clues on which of the tiles in the lava room are safe to walk on or not. You can also search for a treasure card in each space. Don't stay there too long, since you might get crushed by the walls or be blocked in by the boulder. Here is how the glyphs work. When you look at a glyph, you can only look at it for 5 seconds. Try to remember as much of it as possible. This symbol represents a crumbling floor in the lava room. At the end of the turn, flip over 3 of the wall cards and move the walls according to the arrows shown. If you are still there when it moves in, you're dead.
Let's move on to the lava area. Once a player reaches it, the blackboard is removed. If you see a design there which is the same as the one on the wall at the entrance of the temple, then it's a trap and you shouldn't walk on it. You can risk it and take a chance. If you do, flip over the floor tile you will move on to. If the symbol is the same as one of the 4 on the wall, it collapses and you die. If it is not, you place it there and move your adventurer on it. Since it's yellow, you can search it and find treasure. Replace that tile with a brown one to show that there is no more treasures on that slab. If you decide not to try the lava room, you may continue down the corridor and try to get some treasures from the alcoves. To do this, you must spend an action and roll 5 dice. If you get a 1, 2, and a 3, you get the treasure. If not, you can spend another action point to re-roll some of those dices. But don't stay there too long. The boulder is on its way. When the boulder passes next to the corners of the lava room, it breaks the ceiling and creates a hole. This is where you can make your second adventurer enter if the first one dies.
Next comes the river. If you decide to enter it, you are forced to move along it, and you can search only once per square. Once you get to the waterfall, you roll dice according to your load. If you roll a 1 on any of those dice, you fail and die in the waterfall. However, you can ditch some treasure to re-roll the dice with a 1 on it. If you decide not to take the river, you can take the bridge, which means you will roll your dice according to the plank there. If there are 5, you roll 5 dice. For each number under your load, a plank breaks. If there are no more planks, you die. If there are planks left, another player can also attempt to use the bridge. If you decide not to take the bridge, you can try to attempt and get a treasure worth 6 points, but you must roll a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for this one. Once the boulder reaches the end of the corridor, the players who have exited count their treasure values and the highest number wins. Some treasures are boxes which you open outside, so you roll a die to see its value.
It's a great game with lots of action and suspense. The game doesn't last long, so you can play many times in an evening. The production quality is nice and everything is stored nicely inside the box. There's a lot of excitement towards the end of the game and the boulder is really fun. It's been a while since a game like this has come out and we really liked it. Not to mention that each character has a special ability which they can use only once during the game. The artwork is nice and the concept is great. It's really fun playing 6 players and we are giving it an 8.5 on 10. In Adventurers, players will try to collect treasures from the temple of the CHAC.
Of Chalk.
Jack!
Of Chaka Khan.
Fuck, I don't know.
What is it, the Chak?
Check?
Chack or cack, I don't know.
Let's go with check.